Hi, this is Beth Brockette with the Brockette Homes team with Ruhl&Ruhl REALTORs. And today I thought, I haven't really talked about some of the ways that Brockette Homes provides service to their clients. So I wanted to talk about that real quick today. So when we talk about buyers, some of the things that we offer is an auto search that comes directly from the MLS. So as soon as a property would come on the market, it's going to go out to the buyer that is getting that home search based on their criteria. But they're also getting a little bonus because I'm spending a lot of time being online and noticing when that's happening so that I can too see that one house that really looks like it fits for you and sending you another note or text that this might be one we want to check out. So you're getting a little extra personal attention in these days, which is really required in the fast moving market that we have. Homesnap is an app that's very nice for buyers that we can set you up with. And driving through a neighborhood, you see a house and you're wondering about it, and Homesnap can be a great way to get some information about the homes. We also partner with Ruhl Mortgage. That is a company that has a partnership with Ruhl&Ruhl Realtors. And their website, ruhlmortgage.com, has lots of nice links. You can apply right online. You wake up at 3 in the morning and you decide now's the time. You can do that anytime. You can also use many of their calculators that are helpful, even rent versus own, mortgage payments, all those kind of things. So it's a nice website and they're nice partners for us to work with. We have a local rep here that helps us out, Luke Cookman, and he does a great job as well. We also can recommend various local banks here that are lenders that we work with, and that works too, but Ruhl is a partner of ours, Ruhl Mortgage. Nelson Brothers Agency is an insurance company too that is a partner with the Ruhl&Ruhl Realtors brokerage. They are very competitive. They have a variety of insurance companies that they are partnered with, so they usually are really good at getting competitive rates for you. And this is just a way for us to give you one place that you can get all the things you need to buy that home. They can help us to identify if a home has had some insurance claims in the last 5 years, or also if they have what their floodplain is. So sometimes that's good information that we're trying to find out quickly on a property. We also recommend inspectors. We never, for any of the things we do, we don't just say, have to use this person or, whatever. We think that it's important for you to have choices that work. But we do have people that we work with very well and do a great job of identifying issues, but also not scaring buyers, making sure that they can be prompt and just valued. So we do have a few that we like to recommend and work with. Also, just being well informed of the market and different strategies that are working. I try to make sure that I'm chatting with other company or other agents in other states and other markets that maybe have experienced things for many years that we haven't, so that we have some expertise and different strategies that help you. We really have to find some different ways and be creative to win the bids in these markets that we're having right now. So I make sure that I'm well trained and well informed in helping you with that, and we've had good success. One of the other things then, once we are under contract, we provide we try to provide a seamless process from purchase to close, and that can be a bumpy road sometimes. We provide a next steps email that kind of details everything, dates we have to pay attention to. For some people that can be overwhelming. For some people it's very helpful. They print it out and they make sure that they're marking off every little thing, and as long as we're all working together, we have a great transaction. For those who that is a little bit overwhelming, we also do some follow. We break it up into steps and do some follow-up emails. That also this year we started doing some video with that. So if you are the type who prefer video, that's embedded in the emails and is sometimes something that's kind of helpful, just a little reminder. And it helps us make sure that we haven't forgotten anything either and miss anything along the way. So those are some of the things that we have available for our buyers. Also, for all of our clients, we can do electronic signatures and also give the personal touch of meeting with you and having in-person handwritten documents as well. So we try to accommodate whatever your needs are, but those electronic signatures and documents changing back and forth can be very, very helpful to everybody. For sellers, we do offer complementary valuations, and that could be, done at various times. We've talked about that in the past, why different reasons why you might want to have a valuation update on your home. But if you're planning to sell, that's certainly an important thing. We go through and talk about what the expenses are going to be so that you know what your net proceeds would be based on various pricing, and you can make a wise decision. We drive the process and you drive the decisions in all of our clients' needs. Vendor recommendations are another thing that we offer, which is very helpful if you're trying to get things ready, and that can help buyers as well if there's a house that they're wanting to do some work on. We also, in part of that prepping, I am a certified stager, and so we talk about staging consultations. Mostly, a lot of times people don't talk about staging, they think of furniture, etc., and oftentimes that's not the most important thing. It's more about decluttering or making some repairs, making things neat and clean. I've got a blog article about that you might want to check out that talks about staging ideas. So could be furniture, but that's typically, and especially not in this market, very necessary and not always the most important. But it is an option as well. Professional photography is super important. Obviously, I make sure I am personally there for photography unless the house is completely vacant and I know that it's prepped and ready to go. I work with a photographer I trust and kind of knows what my expectations are. But most of the time I am going to be at the property to be there and make sure everything's neat and tidy. And if I need to move something just for the pictures or whatever, make sure we do that. So we talk about things, how to have it prepared in advance, and then I'm there to make sure the photography is well done. We also offer virtual tours, which has been very helpful for out-of-town buyers, for people when we had concerns with medicines or medical situations with the pandemic, etc. So virtual tours still are nice, and people are starting to expect those more often. If it's a home, and it kind of depends on the home situation. If it's a higher end home, be very, very helpful. Those stay on the market a little bit longer, and people want to kind of get in and get a feeling for what how it's laid out, because it's not a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath type situation. Once we get an offer, I think it's really important. We all get very excited. I get very excited. And sometimes you can miss things that are important in that offer. So one of the things I like to do is provide a terms checklist, and it will kind of get outside all of the legal kind of mumbo jumbo and get us to the specific terms, so we make sure that we've noted all of those and haven't missed anything when we're evaluating that. And then also we offer a spreadsheet for when we do, and often these days do, get multiple offers. So how do we compare those side by side? It's oftentimes not just the price or not the price. There may be many other factors that a seller might want to take advantage of or to consider or think about based on their needs. So that spreadsheet has really been helpful. Even if you're not a spreadsheet person, we can talk about it through that process, and it kind of helps look at things side by side, and we've all found that to be very, very helpful. So it's kind of buyer and seller type things. And then I think I've talked before about, I think one of our nicest tools that we have, whether it's for buyers, sellers, or homeowners in general, is our website, brockettehomes.com. There are so much information. I really have always said that that is not a place necessarily that people are coming to search for properties, although you can. You know, there is really focused on our sphere, our clients, our people who are wanting to know more about, well, do they want to work with us? So some of the things that we offer in the website, a link to our Dream Big, BrockettehomesDreamBig.com, is a website that we designed for people who are kind of thinking about maybe a vacation home, a second home, retirement, place they want to retire, just starting to think about that process. Um, it's a place to explore. So it isn't necessarily listings for one place or another, but it talks about different locations. You know, what are the, you know, is there a direct flight? We kind of focus on those areas that might be easiest. But it could be someplace nearby too. If we go to a certain place, we might do a little blog about it. But we can help too to recommend, get you hooked up with an agent that we think, you know, treats people the way that we treat you. So if you've experienced Brockette Homes and how we relate, we hope to try to connect you up with agents in those various areas that can help you as well. And that can be really very helpful versus just looking for whoever the listing agent is. Those vendor recommendations can be found on the website. So if you're just trying to look for somebody to do this or that on your home, you can check our website for that. There are links, of course, to, we talked about before, Ruhl Mortgage and Nelson Brothers, so you can get to their websites from there as well easily. If you like green properties, green homes, the whole idea of that, or healthy homes, I do have a section that's resources that you can link up to. Many of my blog articles or video can talk about some of those things as well. That was something that just, as I was many years working for Alliant Energy and worked with energy efficiency and renewable energy, all of those things kind of stayed with me as an interest, and so I have a lot of information about that as well. You can learn about our team. Again, many different blog articles are out there, and then we always update buyer and seller guides from Keeping Current Matters that has lots of good articles about the various times of year and things that are going on in the market that can be good resources for buyers and sellers. So there you go. There's some things about Brockette Homes and how we can help you. We hope we can. If you have ideas about other things you'd like to hear from these little live video conversations, happy to hear about those. Love to chat with you about the things you're interested in. It's an interesting market. As you know, it's continued to be pretty fast. Interest rates are creeping up, which can start to, at some point, get things back in a little more level as far as whether it's a buyer or seller market. I don't think it's anything to panic about. They're still very low rates. However, it's different, right? So when rates go up, it does affect what your monthly payment will be and what you can afford. So for both buyers and sellers waiting, I don't know that that's going to do a lot of good in things changing. We've definitely, as I've talked about before, have a limited amount of inventory for the number of people. So some people would say, well, we had, you know, similar sales. We had the similar number of homes that sold in the past couple of years. And that is true. They are selling fast. So once they're up, there's many buyers looking at them and they're going pretty quickly. So, you know, we can help you navigate through all of that. If you want to talk more about that, please give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. Beth Brockette at the Brockette Homes team and Ruhl&Ruhl Realtors.